I'm going to talk about writing, but I want to tell you that this week your life will be changed. This week I prepared for you a lot of new program, exciting topic. I'm so excited for this week. I'm so excited for this week because this week your life will be changed forever. Today I talk about writing, and because I want to talk about writing, let me give you a background about my writing experience. I I always wanted to impact life. I always want to change other person's life. I didn't know exactly how. I have a vague idea about how I can change lives. But little by little, I got the details, and I let you know the details because I studied social worker, and then I went to film school, and all of them good things, good ways to change lives. But most importantly, I found my gift, which is writing. That's why I started to write books, and with books, I can impact life. My readers can read my books and learn from my experience. I have experience. I have more than half century experience. So I said, oh, it's a very good idea. And pay attention. And I let you know the details. Pay attention because you have to open your heart. You have to open your eyes. You have to open your ears. God is talking to you this week in a different way. And when God talks to you, don't ignore God's voice. But if you don't recognize God's voice, okay, that's no problem. But first, learn how to recognize God's voice. And when you hear God's voice, then don't ignore it. Okay? Today, start with writing. And tomorrow is the last part of the psalm. Psalm 103. And Psalm 103 is a psalm that I chose for the last one. I put it in the last part. I was talking about Psalm a lot of times. Every Saturday, every Tuesday, I talk about Psalms. Because Psalms is always a prayer. You guys, pay attention. Psalm is always a prayer. So tomorrow, Tuesday, is the last part of talking about Psalm. But the end doesn't mean that there is nothing continue. Maybe I stop talking about Psalm, but it doesn't mean that Psalm is not a prayer anymore. Psalm is always a prayer, but I stop talking about Psalms. So don't ignore the voice of God. And Wednesday, I'm talking about Seeker's Guide and how you find your way. So don't miss any of this. And Thursday, as always, love talk. And I give you something for Friday for sure. For sure, I give you guys something special. Friday, talking to guys, talking to youth, and I have new things for you guys. Let's talk about writing. What do you write? What do you want to write? Really, I told you. I told you what should I write. And I told you how I started to write. So the thing is, you have to find out what do you want to write. Yes, that's a good, it's a title. Oh, you can say, oh, I'm a published author. That's achievement, right? Because I am a published author. But really, it needs a lot of effort. It needs a lot of perseverance. It needs money because it's modern time. Traditional way of publishing is not the only way you publish your book. Before, people have to go to agent, an agent, an agent, an agent, or agent. And they face a lot of rejection. No, I don't want it. But today, with self-publishing, you can publish your own book. Even you can go to the library and they help you to publish your book. They help you with the cover design. They help you with everything. The page layout. They help you with everything. And you can publish your book professionally, yourself, self-publishing. So you don't need actually a publisher to publish your book. These days, with self-publishing, actually you can publish your own book and you can sell your own book. That's what I did. I sold my own book. I had to. I had to sell my own book. And I changed my publisher and because they were fake. So I changed my publisher and I told my ex-publisher that I don't want you anymore. I dumped them. I dumped my ex and I changed my publisher. So writing is fascinating, but you have to spend a lot of alone time. Writing is not like other activities because you don't need anybody else when you write. I don't care about some people that they do ghost writing. They pay somebody to write for them, and then they put their name on it. This actually is not a book. Or some people, they dictate to somebody else, and somebody else write it for them. But actually, today, you don't need any of it. You have to put your mind into it, and you can write books. But you have to have an idea for sure. It's like building a structure. It's like building a house. I never was good in construction. Never, ever. I even tried construction, but I'm not good in structure. I'm not good in building cities. I didn't study building cities. But what I studied was geology. And what I do, there is always transferable skills. I studied geology. And my first job after graduating from university was consulting engineer. And when they want to build a city, they have to examine the soil of the field, the land. And because of that, You have to examine the soil. I'm expert on knowing the soils. I'm expert in building foundation. I don't care about appearance. I don't care about decoration. Some people are expert of decoration. Some people expert of building blocks. But I'm expert in building foundation. I work on foundation because it's the most important thing of all. And book is like this. You have to build a foundation. You have to have a map for your book. You have to know what do you want to write about. You have to know what structure, what division has books. No matter you are writing novel, no matter you're writing non-fiction, fiction, or article, or any writing, you have to know what division the book has. I prepare newspaper. I know how to work on it. I worked in any kind of writings. So I was participating in writing class and we were writing short stories. And I know how to write a short story. I wrote them. I know how to prepare a newspaper. I know how to write an article. And I know how to write a non-fiction books. The things that I haven't achieved yet is novel. My next goal is writing a novel. This is my next goal. Writing a novel is my next step. I will write a novel for sure. But you have to know what is your writing. What is your purpose of writing? Writers fulfill a need that no one else can. They nurture souls. There are mainly four categories in which all different type of writing fall, which are narrative writing, descriptive, expository, and persuasive writing. In total, there is four. That fiction and non-fiction goes into these four. Because when you write non-fiction and novel, it's a narrative book. You tell a story. That's narrative. When you write fiction books, you tell a story and you describe. Writing descriptive. You describe and you tell a story. Sometimes you write persuasive writing. You want to write a letter for somebody for asking something. And in addition to these four, there are categories such as creative writing, subjective, and objective writing. These are all kind of writings. You can get a lot of subcategory in different kind of writing. You can list a lot of them. But no matter what categorizing the writing material, you have to know what is the purpose, what is the point of your writing. Each writing type has a different purpose and requires a different writing skills. Of course, there is transferable skills, as I told you before, but you need to get skills for writing. Maybe you have an idea, but you have to get the skills. You have to have a plan for writing. Expository writing, this type of writing style is commonly found in textbook. The author provides factual information about a certain object rather than voicing his or her opinion. Sometimes you gather information from here and there, and you put those information in a book, in an article. That's a research book. When I was studying PhD in church structure, I told you I'm not good at building structure. Even beautiful building can be destroyed, as Jesus said that. Jesus said, look at this temple of Solomon, it will be destroyed. So appearance and beauty is not important. Yes, that's good. I'm not anything against architecture and beautiful building, but those beauty can be destroyed. Churches can be destroyed. If you build something, so it can be destroyed. Building can be destroyed, right? If you build something and you got some money and build a church, that church can be destroyed. That's the fact. So I don't care about appearance. I don't care about the building. What I care about is foundation. Persuasive writing. The main purpose is persuade its audience about something. It includes opinion and a personal point of view of the authors. Persuasive writing can be seen in editorial and opinion section of newspaper, reviews, books, film, etc. Have you seen critics? They critics a film. They critique a book, right? There is critic for book, but always but there is critic, but it's a personal opinion. Critics watch a film and review the work, review the film. That's personal opinion of the writer. Descriptive writing. It describes things such as character, places, event, etc. There is somebody goes to the travel, to go to the trip and visited different cities, and when he came back, he write about those cities. That's descriptive writing. The purpose is to tell a story, and of course describing. But the main point here, describing. It's an art of telling a story in descriptive way. But there is narrative writing, which is the purpose of narrative writing is to tell a story. A story could be a fictional story or real story. There is biography, autobiography. That's what I'm intent to do. I want to write my autobiography. It requires a lot of skills, all novel, poetry, short story, biography, and autobiography fall under this category, narrative writing. And creative writing is something else. Of course, they can overlap each other, I told you. It is an art of making things up. When you write a fiction, there is nothing there. You can make things up. That's a creative writing. There is nothing there. You can make things up. You can. And I can. And I can. I can make these things up. I am skilled to write creative. Basically, Any writing which originates from imagination, who is the writer, is called creative writing. So I can imagine things, and based off those imagination, I can write a story. That's creative writing. So it's an art of making things up. I can make things up. Creative writers have something to say. They need to express themselves through writing. And let's finish here. It's 20 minutes. I will continue this journey of writing every week until we come to a conclusion that who can be a writer, who can write creatively, who can write fiction and non-fiction books. And I told you, first thing first, you have to know what you want to write. What is the purpose of your writing? Ask yourself, what is the purpose of your writing? And let's go forward, and I will talk about this in details later. Peace of God be with you all.